Good morning, children. Today we are going to start chapter 3, the cell. Children, you all have seen brick. So where this brick is used? Okay, so this brick is used for building a house. So can one brick build the house? No. Yes, very good. That means we have to take many bricks to make a house. Similarly, a body of an organism is made up of a tiny unit that is known as cell. Now, many cells they form a organism like multicellular organism and unicellular organism. If a animal or an organism is made up of one cell, then it is unicellular, and if an organism is made up of many cells, then they are multicellular. So let's start the chapter, the cell. So we can say the cell is the basic unit of life. Why we call it a basic unit of life? Because all living things, whether they are the plants or the animals, they are made up of cells, like the house which is made up of bricks. So we can say that cells, they are the building blocks of the plants and animals. Children, you have seen different type of organisms on this earth. You have seen human beings, that we are human beings, then trees, bacteria, they are all different. They are all different in shapes and size. But one common thing is there, and that is all of them, they are made up of tiny cells. So we can say that cell, it is the smallest unit of life which has a different structure and they perform a specific functions. Most of the cells, children, they are very small in size and we cannot see them with our naked eyes. They can only be seen under the microscope. But all the cells, they have the capability to perform the metabolic activities. Now, number, shape and size of the cell. Cells are of different shapes, cells are of different size, and there are different numbers in different organisms. So you know that cells, all the organisms, they are made up of cells, but the number varies from organism to organism. Like I told you, children, that some organisms, they are made up of one cell, so they are unicellular, and if they are made up of many cells, that means they are multicellular. So one cell animal, they are known as unicellular. For example, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, chlamydomonas and bacteria. So here is the diagram of an amoeba cell. Now this amoeba, this is a single cell or it is a unicellular. Uni means one. So this is a single cell of amoeba. It has the nucleus, cytoplasm, membrane, food particle, then food vacuoles, cytopodia. Now this amoeba, it is irregular in shape and it can perform this type of structures. They are known as cytopodia. Now with the help of these cytopodia, children, they are moving from one place to other place, and by forming the cytopodia, they also engulf the food particles. So this is a single cell and it can perform any functions in a single cell. This is euglena. So here see, this is also a unicellular organism. Now cell membrane, endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast are present, nucleus, mitochondria. So all these structures, cell structures, they are present inside the cell. Flagella is there. This flagella helps in the movement of euglena from one place to other place. So this is a unicellular animal and it can perform all the activities inside this cell. Now the animals which are made up of multicellular cells, or they are multicellular organisms, they are the rose plant, neem plant, rat, human being, elephant. Many organisms on this earth, they are made up of multi-cells. So here see, multicellular organism. Now all these are multicellular organisms. Now come to the shape. So there are many types of cells in the bodies of an organism, multicellular organism, and they are different in shapes. According to the functions, they differ in shape. Like the shape of the nerve cell is long and branched, whereas the shape of the muscle cell, it is pointed at both ends and has a spindle shape. Why they are different in shape? Because nerve cell, they have to perform the function of receiving the messages from the brain to the body and to the body, from the body to the brain. So that is why they are long and branched, whereas muscle cells, their function is to bring about the movement in the body parts. Similarly, red blood cells, they are also spherical in shape because they have to carry the oxygen throughout the body parts. So here are the different shapes of the cells. So this is the new nerve cell, then muscle cell, it's a spindle shape, red blood cells, white blood cells, and columnar epithelial cells. So children, as you see that there are of different shapes and sizes. So now come to size. Now the cells, they are of different sizes also. Now the living cells, they may be small, which cannot be seen under the with our naked eyes, and they may be enlarged. We can see with our naked eyes. So bacterial cell, they are the extremely smaller cell, and they have the length of 0.1 micrometer to 0.5 micrometer. Whereas the cell which is larger in shape, size, it is the egg cell of a bird. Now the bird's egg is a single cell and it is big. We can see with our naked eyes. So ostrich egg, it is the largest cell on this earth. Okay. So here is an experiment which we can do when the school will reopen to study the unpaid cells. Now let's come to the basic structure of the cell. Children, each cell, they have smaller parts in it. Like children, our body is made up of many cells. And inside our body, there are different organs which are performing different functions like lungs, they are performing respiration, kidney, the process of excretion, heart, the process of circulation. So all these organs are present in our body and they are performing different functions. Similarly, in a cell also, there are different little organs present which are performing different functions in the plants and the animals. But certain parts, they are found only in plant cells and they are not present in the animal cells. So the basic important parts of the cell are the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus and mitochondria. And the parts which are not present in animal cell are cell wall, chloroplast and large vacuole. Let's start with the cell membrane in detail. Cell membrane, or we can also call it a plasma membrane. Now like our body, it is covered with the skin and inside the skin different parts are present. Similarly, every cell is covered with a thin sheet of skin which is called as cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Now the cell membrane, it protects the cell and it also gives the shape to the cell. Now this cell membrane, it has tiny pores. Children, like our skin also protects ourselves from outside environment. Similarly, it has pores in it. Similarly, cell membrane has tiny pores and it also gives protection to the cell. The cell controls the movement of the substance into the cell and out of the cell. The dissolved substance like food, oxygen, they can enter into the cell, whereas the waste products like the carbon dioxide, they go from the cell through the pores of the cell membrane. Now the cell membrane, they also separates the cells from one another and also from the surrounding medium. Next is the cell wall. Children, cell wall is present only in plant cell. Now the cell wall, they are thick and they are present outside the cell membrane. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, which is a tough material, and it gives shape and support to the plant cell. The cell wall, it also holds the plant cells together and it provides the strength to the plant. Plant needs protection against high wind speed, variations in temperature, atmospheric moisture. So these plants, they are fixed at place and they cannot move from one place to another place to protect themselves. Like us children, we can move from one place to another place for the protection, for the shade, but plants cannot. So this tough cell wall provides protection to the plant. Now cell wall is not there in the animal cell, and the cell wall, it is a non-living part of the plant cell. Next basic structure is the nucleus. Now nucleus, it is large in size, it is round in structure, shape, and it is present in all the cell. Without nucleus, cell is dead. This nucleus controls all the activities in the cell. In animal cell, children, nucleus lies in the center of the cell, whereas in plant cell, the nucleus lies on the side of the cell or at the periphery of the cell. The nucleus, it is the largest organelle in the cell. Nucleus, it is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane called nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane, like the cell membrane, it also has tiny pores for the exchange of materials with the cytoplasm. Inside the nuclear membrane, it is filled with the dense fluid known as nucleoplasm. Now these nucleoplasms, they contain small structures and they are known as nucleolus. Now nucleus also contains thread-like structures called chromatin fibers, which on cell division, they become thick and forms the chromosomes. Now chromosomes, they contain genes in it, and the functions of these chromosomes is to transfer the characteristics from the parents to the offspring through the genes. Children, you know that some of the father characteristics, some of your mother characteristics comes in you. Why? Because of these genes which are present in the chromosomes. Okay. So here is the nucleus. Structure of a nucleus. See, this is the nuclear membrane or the outer boundary of the nucleus. Nucleolus is present here. Now these thread-like structures, they are the chromatin fibers, and these chromatin fibers, they condense and they form a chromosomes, and endoplasmic reticulum is here. Next is the basic part of the cell is the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm, it is transparent in nature, jelly-like material which fills the cell between the nucleus and the cell membrane. Most of the chemical reactions, they take place inside the cell and it keeps the cell alive. The cytoplasm of the cell has many tiny structures and these are known as organelles. Now the most prominent organelle in the cytoplasm is the nucleus. Now cytoplasm also contain other structures like the mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes. The cytoplasm of plant cells also contain the chloroplast, which gives green color to the plant. The cytoplasm and the nucleus, they together make up the protoplasm. So what is the protoplasm? When we say that the cytoplasm and the nucleus, they comprise together from the protoplasm. Cell organelle, students. So we'll continue this cell organelle in our next class. That is all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.